MediEvil, a game released in 1998 for the PlayStation 1 that mixed the genres of gothic horror, dark humor, and just plain goofiness to create a really charming game. You play as this fellow over here. That's Sir Daniel Fortescue, or Dan for short. Now, our buddy Dan here's kind of got a weird backstory. He's revered as the hero of Gallowmere, having led the charge against Zarok, the king's old court wizard. Now, he's revered as a legend, but the thing is, he didn't even fight in the battle. He was actually killed by the first arrow volley. I mean, ow. That looked painful. Zarok was eventually defeated, and Dan was given the credit, but now he's returned. And so is Dan, and he doesn't look too happy. Or maybe he does. The gameplay is a simple hack and slash with a distant third-person perspective. It was also one of the first games to use the dual analog stick controllers, the DualShock. So it was also one of the first games that let you move the camera on your own. But because it was one of the first games, the camera can be really wonky sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't even let you move it at all. Most of the game will see you platforming and killing zombies. Yeah, it's a zombie game. Back before the Walking Dead and Left 4 Dead and Dead Rising and Dead and another game title with dead in it. One of the main points of the game is collecting this chalice here. As you kill enemies, their souls will fly off to fill the chalice. That's the little red things you see that fly off of an enemy after you kill them. Once the chalice is full, you can collect it, and at the end of the level, it'll take you to a place called the Hall of Heroes.
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes, where the bravest warriors from history spend eternity, feasting, singing, and arm wrestling. If they think you're worthy enough, you may be able to persuade them to give you a new weapon.
So as George Clooney there explained, the Hall of Heroes is basically the game's metaphor for Valhalla, where all warriors go to spend the rest of eternity after they've died. So basically, you go here once you fill the chalice, and you talk to someone like Fancy Pants over here, and you get a new weapon. Some weapons are really useful, like this guy gives you a crossbow, you can get a spear or a warhammer later on, but some of them are just powered-up versions of weapons you already have, like a great sword or a magical sword later on in the game. Most of the really funny moments in the game come from these characters in the Hall of Heroes. Most of them know Dan in one way or another, and most of them poke fun at the fact that he died. Now, the first MediEvil was good, but the second one wasn't considered as good. It didn't have as much of the challenge of the first game. But in 2005, they actually made a remake of the first game for the PSP called MediEvil Resurrection. It was really fun, and it was a really charming remake of the game. They actually made Dan a more interesting and funny character. If you ever have the chance to get it, I'd definitely pick it up. Now, when I say it's a remake, it's not an HD remake. They didn't just take the graphics and touch them up. Like, they redid the entire game. They took the story and they kept it, but they changed some minor elements. They added in new characters, and they really changed the gameplay. And a lot of the levels were changed, too. It wasn't changed in a way where you're like, oh, this isn't the same game, because you could tell it played the same. It was still as fun. It was just a lot more charming to play, and a lot of people don't really care because it was on the PSP, but I definitely think it's worth a shot to try it. But I'm getting a little off topic. This isn't about the remake. This is about the original game for the PS1. So, back to it. The soundtrack for the game really fits well, too. It's kind of a dark, medieval-style orchestration, so it really fits the mood of the game, because it's really supposed to be about a kind of a dark adventure, because your guy's undead. I mean, it's kind of dark. And it's an original PS1 game, so I'm not even going to touch the graphics on that. Overall, I give MediEvil a 7 out of 10. It's a really fun game to play, and it's a really good nostalgia factor if you go back and play it. However, if you can't find it, I'd say move on to MediEvil Resurrection on the PSP, because it's just as good, if not better. Avoid the second one, though. It really is not worth it. Well, that's my review of MediEvil. If you liked it, leave a comment below. If you have a game you want me to review, leave a comment below as well. This is Boss, and I will see you in the next review.